Well, you've joined me down here today at Linear Fisheries in deepest, darkest Oxfordshire. I've been catching plenty of fish today, and I've taken a bit of time out from the fishing, and I suppose now would be a good time to have a look at my Go Anywhere spod mix. Now, this is a basic spod mix that I've probably been using ever since I started carp fishing, sort of 17, 18 years ago. And as you will find out, it's very, very simple mix, and it works absolutely everywhere that I've ever taken it. So the first step, preparation before going out for a session. The first thing I'll do is take my freezer baits out of the freezer the night before I go. At the moment, I'm using a new bait from CC Moore called the Pacific Tuna. Now this is a really, really sort of fishy, really potent bait. And it's a new one that I've been using probably for about 5 or 6 months now. I've had some great success on it already, and it's definitely going to be a bait that's set to be a winner. It's just something a little bit different to everything else that's out there, and the fish seem to love it, so what more can you ask for? So the night before I go fishing, I take my freezer baits out of the freezer, and the first thing I do, I get the liquid tuna extract, and all I do is just pour it over all of the boilies once I've put them into a bucket. So probably going to start off by putting probably about half a kilo into the bucket. And as I said, I'd normally do this the night before I go fishing, and then just pour the liquid into it. You don't need to go over the top with the liquid, and the reason I put it into a bucket is because you can then shake it about and cover all of the bait in the liquid. Like so. So I'll probably only put about 50 mil of bait in there, maybe a little bit more, and with a little shake around it's covered all of the bait. So now I'll leave that overnight to soak into the bait. The liquid tuna extract itself, it's got some chunks in it, and it's got all sorts of attractions in there, and it really, really is potent. It's liquidy enough that it's going to soak, some of it's going to soak into the bait, and is also thick enough that there's some bits and pieces in there that are going to cling onto the bait and then leak off once the boilie's out into the water. So that's the first step that I take, and then basically I mix the rest of the mix up once I get to the lake and before I start fishing. So the next thing I add to the mix is the old Jolly Green Giant Sweetcorn. Carp catching bait, has been since the day dot. Very visual, very sweet, easily digestible, and carp find it simply irresistible. So into the bucket that goes, and then we'll have a look at what I put in next. Now, I'm not just a boilie person. I never just turn up and just put loads of boilies out and just like that. I always like to fish particle baits mixed with the Sweetcorn and my boilies. So the next thing that I use is hemp. Now, I always cook this freshly, again, a couple of days before I go fishing or the day before I go fishing, soak it for 24 hours, boil it for 20 minutes, and then you can see all of the little shoots are just sprouting out, and you can see all the little white bits in there, and that's perfectly prepared. I often get asked whether I add lots of things to my hemp, and the simple answer is no. By the time I've cooked it up, all of the natural oils that are released from the hemp are absolutely spot on, basically, and when the hemp goes into the water, all of those oils leak off, and you'll see a slick drifting down the lake, and the fish will pick up on that, and it'll draw the fish into the swim, and because they're so small, it just keeps the fish grubbing around for absolutely ages till every little morsel is gone, basically. So that's the hemp that I add into the mix, nice and oily. And once I've put all of that into the mix, I'll then just give it a good stir around. And that is the final mix. Sometimes I'll crush a few boilies up just to sort of make them release a lot more liquid or a lot more flavours a lot quicker, and just sort of give lots of different shapes into the lake. But most of the time I put mainly whole boilies into there. So as you can see, there's a nice little mixture, 3 key items. To be honest, you can customise this mix and add some pellets, you can add some various other particles, sometimes a few tiger nuts, but that as a basic mix is going to get you bites wherever you go.